Well, it may feel like football season with the weather today on May 31st, but we have important playoff baseball to bring to you live from West Bloomfield High School. Walled Lake Western won the first district game of the day earlier this morning into the afternoon, taking down North Farmington 1-0. So they get the winner of this second matchup between West Bloomfield and Walled Lake Central. Evan Stockton, Jay Alexander with the whole crew. Glad to bring you to West Bloomfield, where the sun is starting to peek through the clouds and it feels a little bit warmer, Jay. And this is going to be a fun matchup here between a Walled Lake Central program that's getting a little bit better and better under their young head coach, and West Bloomfield has got some high-level talent, especially this guy on the mound, Slade Moore.
Absolutely. Slade brings a lot to the table. He is very crafty, but with some power as well. So he has pitch ability, and he's going to look to dominate the strike zone. So he's going to be fun to watch.
Guy who's going to the University of Michigan and as well for Walled Lake Central, right? We know something now in the greater Detroit area about a really good left-handed pitcher, right? He's going on the mound today for the Tigers. So when you're a hitter going up specifically against a high-powered lefty like this for this lineup for Walled Lake Central, how do you try to get to him?
You want to eliminate pitches, right? You want to get the pitch that he doesn't throw for domination, right? And then you want to sit on that particular pitch and possibly not try to do too much, a middle and away. Just got to have your approach to make sure that you first pitch fastballs, right?
Great matchup to start it. Lefty on left. Luke Nelson in the box for Walled Lake Central. This guy was batting over 400 this year, and you talk about making Slade work. The thing that Luke has done best in the box this year is he's only struck out 9 times.
Yeah, so that makes for a tough out right there. So he understands the strike zone, but it's going to be hard for a lefty as dominant as he is against the lefty hitter.
In the air to left. Piker went back. Now he's coming in. There is a slight wind here today, and he was being careful on out number 1 of the ball game.
Yeah, I thought he swung at a pitch that was a little bit out of the zone there, right? Because nothing's going to get into the gaps here with the wind blowing straight out to right. So you really want to eliminate pitches and hit at strikes and do a better job at that, especially as a leadoff spot.
Nick Campbell, the next up against Moore. Numbers are great for Slade Moore this year. 150 the ERA. He'll bat cleanup today for the Lakers, too. Leads the team in innings and strikeouts.
Yeah, he's going to have to do a better job of getting ahead in hitters. But, the cold weather has his way of working his head, to make it harder for those pitchers to really get feel for the baseball.
How much is the weather really a thing for a pitcher in an important game like this, playoff game?
I think it's pivotal, really. I do. It's because if he can't spin the ball because he can't feel the grip in his hands, that makes it difficult. So he has to eliminate pitches.
Ooh, good spin on that breaking ball.
Yes, it was. But when you got a guy like that who's used to pitching in cold weather too, and he's dominated so much, he's going to continue potentially to do the same thing. But for young pitchers, though, it's very difficult. Like, if he was a freshman, he probably had difficulty spinning the ball right now. But he's not a freshman. He's a well-seasoned senior.
Ooh, threw that one behind Campbell. And now Slade's kind of picking at that landing spot on the mound.
Yeah. You know what? And his delivery has been a little bit different here today, it looks like. He's fallen a little bit to his glove side, and he's missing because his arm is dragging, so he's missing to his glove side as well.
Tyler Malzewski lines the first one off. This is a Walled Lake Central team that's coming in at 17-18-1. An experienced coaching staff led by a coach who's one of the more fascinating coaches at the high school level. Tyler Troyer, the head coach for Walled Lake Central, his second year. The man, I think, holds every job in high school coaching. He coaches on the Northville football team. That's where he went to high school. And he does talk a lot, Jay, about, hey, I'm not ashamed to say I went to Northville. I'm proud of it. Those guys won the state championship in baseball last year, so I'm trying to make Walled Lake Central a mini Northville.
For sure, and he comes under the tutelage of Johnny Castriva, who was the coach there for years. And a good friend of mine, a former teammate of mine as well. So those guys know baseball over there. They did a great job, and even though Samini stepped in and took over for them, but those guys know baseball.
Had a big rip at the Moore pitch. Campbell just walked. Got a 1-2 count here on Malzewski. Jack Shaw, who may be Walled Lake Central's best overall player, is on deck. He'll be another lefty to face this talented lefty, Slade Moore. Jay, of course, another thing with the lefty is a better opportunity to control that potential run game at first.
Absolutely, 100%. And he's quick to the plate. He's even though he may or may not have a move, but you'll have to show it. But he's very quick to the plate, which makes it very difficult.
Again, Moore not getting those corners.
Yeah.
More balls than strikes so far. Tried to go to the same spot, and he got the call that time, and this is going to turn into a double play. A delayed strike 3 call turns into inning-ending twin killing.
Wow. Wow, umpires definitely need to do a better job of getting that called out earlier.
You can have a delayed strike 3 call when there's no one on base. When there's someone on base, things can get weird. And West Bloomfield's out of the first.
First, life gives us many. From buying your first car or first home to starting a business, Alliance Catholic Credit Union is here for you every step of the way. From checking and savings accounts and youth accounts to auto loans, mortgages, business needs, and financial planning. A full-service financial institution with over 70 years of experience. We're committed to serving your firsts, seconds, 50ths, and every day in between. Alliance Catholic Credit Union. Federally insured by the NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Lowering the shoulder.
Swing and a miss. McKinley scores!
Jack Shaw on the mound for Walled Lake Central. They have a lot of faith in this lefty. Great left-handed pitching matchup in the starting spot today between Jack Shaw for Walled Lake Central and Slade Moore for West Bloomfield, who just evacuated a mini jam in the top of the first. As for the lineup that West Bloomfield will throw up there against Jack Shaw, Slade Moore, that great starting pitcher, will bat in the cleanup spot. Stevie Fountain, Jay, a very talented guy in the leadoff spot, future Michigan State Spartan. A lot of depth to this Laker lineup.
Yeah, and Josh Bemberg has done a great job with these guys, and he's been with these guys for quite some time too. So he coached some of them in the summertime too. So he knows what his guys can do, and these guys play hard for him.
Up and down that lineup. Landmines for Shaw. Walled Lake Central rocking the, we can call these powder blue jerseys, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
This is like 70s and 80s Milwaukee Brewers.
It sure is.
Yeah.
With the stripe on the arm sleeve. The yellow belt, creative.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Walled Lake Central wearing those Brewer-esque jerseys, and West Bloomfield in the black. Of course, their school colors the green and white, but the football team wears black a lot. That's kind of become their thing.
That's kind of, yeah, and that's kind of the thing in football now. Everybody wants to wear black.
It was like out of style to wear black for a while, and now it's back in.
Now it's back in. Yeah. Some alumni gets mad. They're like, those are not our colors. What are we doing?
Fountain in from the right side against Shaw. This one will reach the seats down that left field line.
That's one thing Shaw don't want to do, is to get it up to these guys. Yeah, you got to pitch down in the zone to these guys that have an opportunity to make them roll over, hit a lot of ground balls. You put it up in their face. These big boys like to eat.
Right on cue, he goes low. It's like he's listening to you.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
You know, we are sitting right behind home plate, so you got to be careful, you know?
Absolutely.
Can't, project and enunciate too loud or they'll hear us.
For sure. That was a good pitch right there. That's a tough pitch for any hitter. Like the pitch that starts in and just stays in on the black, that's a real tough pitch for hitters to hit.
Here's Shaw's 1-2. Rolled the third. Detta's got it. You know, found by what the West Bloomfield coaching staff told us, deceptive speed. He does have 25 stolen bases, but no problems there on that play for Walled Lake Central.
Yeah, no, that was an easy one. That was a good pitch by Shaw. He threw it on the outside half, made him roll over, and to get the easy out at third.
Cam LaFlame coming into that left-handed batter's box. Right fielder for the Lakers today. This one driven to right center. Carrying a long way back, but there's room for Nelson. It's about 355 to that right center field power alley, and Cam came up a little short.
Yeah, what a great swing. And he was looking dead red fastball right away, which you can see. Just got under it just a tad. But man, did he put a good swing on that pitch. And he was looking for it. That's what you want to see hitters do. If they're looking for a certain pitch, don't miss it.
Catcher Logan Scheidt stands in. This guy just a sophomore, but they really like Logan's potential. Got a couple of Scheidts on this team. You'll see the shortstop Brady a few spots down in the batting order.
Yeah, they have a lot of good things to say about this young player, that he's going to be one of their top players here in the future.
Oh, nice play at third. Detta was busy at that hot corner in the bottom of the first. And a strong start for Walled Lake Central. A 1-2-3 bottom of the first. Trying to spring an upset and play their rival Walled Lake Western later on today. Scoreless, clean first.
Look, everybody wanna go and talk. At the same time, gotta walk it. Better yet, run, go, hit a lick, divvy up with my homies, and we do it all again.
What makes people stand in this line like this for 3 hours? Because we're not Dunkin' Donuts or Tim Hortons. These donuts are made fresh daily, and it's made with love and consistency. We got the same ingredients. It didn't change. The people know that, and that's why they standing out there.
Lowering the shoulder.
Swing and a miss. McKinley scores!
Matchup of dueling left-handed starters on this all of a sudden sunny end of May Saturday at West Bloomfield. Slade Moore is back out there. Found a creative way to get out of the first inning. So there was a runner on first and one out. He gets Malzewski to strike out. They threw down to first, and Fountain quickly on to second to tag out Campbell, who was creeping off the bag and then decided to run to second.
Yeah, he thought that was a ball because there was a delayed call in there, and he just decided to jog down there because he thought it was a walk. So it was an unfortunate situation.
Jack Shaw, the other left-handed starting pitcher in this game, the Vikings starter, takes strike for Moore.
Yeah, you want to get on pitchers like this, tough pitchers, ahead early. And they had a chance to get ahead early. He was struggling to get in the strike zone, but now you're going to come out and see a different pitcher.
Slow roller, tough play. There's no play. Hit that thing in no man's land, and Jack Shaw has a fortunate infield single.
Yeah, that was one of those ones that the pitchers weren't going to make it. There was no way he was getting them out. It's a good pitch, too, because he had him roll over, get on top of the baseball, and it's just unfortunate. That's baseball, though.
You know there was a ball that Jack hit hard earlier in the year that was caught for an out. So the
Absolutely.
baseball gods are going, there you go, brother. There's your
That's
makeup.
it.
There's your
Absolutely.
makeup.
That's it.
We do have a pinch runner at first, by the way. Shaw, the starting pitcher for Walled Lake Central, not running here as Parker Stozak is in the box. Second straight inning where Walled Lake Central's got a base runner here. They do call strike.
That was probably about the highest pitch he called a strike today so far.
Man, when you can go upstairs with a fastball for a strike and then come back with that breaking ball, that Parker's got to be in the box thinking, that's not fair.
Absolute textbook right there. And now set up pitch too. I may come up hard inside, hard up away, and then come back with that same pitch. And now you'll see he'll come back with that same pitch on the backside of his back foot.
Let's see if they put that pinch runner at first in motion too. Haven't tried to run on Moore yet. Runner stayed, and it's a check swing foul.
Yeah, well, fooled everybody on that pitch because he came right back with the fastball, and I think he wanted it inside. And actually, he got lucky because it was out over the plate. And the hitter was even looking off speed.
Went back to the breaking ball, what he was expecting before. Laid off, we got a good at-bat brewing here.
Yes, he does. Staysax it looks to be locked in right now, and so hopefully we'll see this good matchup.
High and in, that's ball 4. And base runners to start this second inning on Slade Moore. Infield single and a walk.
Yeah, I noticed something in his delivery earlier in the day that, he's a little bit, not really erratic, but he's not the usual strike thrower right now that he's normally been. And just looks like he's just falling too much to his glove side right now.
Caden Buckley showed bunt and pulled back. So if you had to give Slade a little mechanical adjustment here, what do you say?
I'd say stay right in line and finish your pitch with you being in line, but because he's kicking over to the side, trying to get a little bit more velo.
Now that was well done, right? You teach him on when the guy's squaring a bunt, that thing's high and in because you want to get a pop-up like that.
That's right. And so that's perfectly placed for that particular pitch there. And not a good job by Buckley there to lay off of that.
Now the umpires are talking about something on the middle of the infield here. Stozak had to go back to first, and Shaw, guy who's being pinch run for, goes back to second. Jacob 1 will step in the box.
Yeah, when you're facing a good pitcher and you got him a little bit on the ropes, you got to do the little things well, and getting a bunt down is one of those things.
Look, when you go on the road in a playoff game,
Absolutely.
right, it's a baseball cliche, but it's true. You got to do the little stuff, right?
You have to. And we talk about it all the time, that if we want to play at the highest level, you have to be able to do all the things well.
1-1 on the Vikings designated hitter.
And the other thing too is when he falls to the glove side too, his arm drags, and it's susceptible to miss pitches high.
Ooh, breaking ball for a swing and a miss. And he's out. Overslid the bag. Shaw tagged out at third. Stozak takes second.
Wow, I don't know what they were doing there because he was out by a mile. If this guy was at the bag, maybe they saw something, but wow, they can't keep shooting themselves in the foot if they want an opportunity here.
Well, especially to be caught by that much on a breaking ball as well. It just wasn't a garden variety fastball.
Absolutely. Good awareness by the catcher. to notice that he had a chance to get the guy out at third, because normally they would throw to second. We got a right-handed batter blocking their view a little bit. But a good job by Scheidt.
And the count fills up again here. You know, if Moore walks one here, that's 3 walks in the first 7 guys he's faced. Outside and missed with the breaking ball. So there's another free pass. You've been on it, Jay. Slade's normal expert command just not there right now.
Yeah, no, it's not there. And, you know, I don't know if it's a little bit pressure on himself. Like, hey, guys got to dominate this game so we can go get to second game, you know, or what. Or maybe just don't have it. But he's one of the best in the high school area. So I'm sure we're going to see something soon.
You know, that's another thing to remember once we get to this playoff time at high school, college level. Maybe you're watching the college baseball with us. It's double elimination in college anyway. Here at high school, it's win or go home.
Yep.
But the concept is you're probably going to have to play a couple of games in one day.
Yeah, you are. You are. And that's the thing of it is, and you set your pitching up just for this specific time.
Missed again. 3-0 on Braden Seaver.
Yeah, he's just not finding it. I don't think he has a feel for even the baseball. You can tell a little bit right now. He's looking at his hand and looking around, and the catcher's going in to settle him down here. So I'm a little bit surprised Josh haven't went out. But you know what? When you got a veteran guy out there, you kind of like, all right, what else are we going to do?
Yeah, our horse is out there. We just kind of got to let him figure it out.
That's right.
Oh, that one almost hit him in the head. Bases loaded here. Slade Moore, one of the better pitchers in high school ball in Michigan all year, has walked the bases loaded.
Yeah, that's cause for concern here. But again, Josh is letting them go and without getting a visit, so we'll see. But if anybody can get out of it, he can. I mean, he's proven that he's the guy. He's proven that he's one of the top guys around. So just anxious to see what's going to happen here.
Another one out of the zone. Chandler Detta takes the ball, and here comes Bernberg to go talk with Slade Moore.
Yeah, and now he's looking at his arm. He's rubbing his arm a little bit, so I don't know if he's got some issues there or it's just a thing.
Yeah, when you would have to go out in a situation like this, where one of your better pitchers is struggling, do you say anything specific? You try to get a vibe check? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, you try to get a vibe check, 1. 2, you tell them, like, hey, man, we got you. Why don't you let the defense do the work? We know we're solid here. Just stop trying to be fine and let's just throw strikes. You're our guy. We're going nowhere else.
Moore goes back to the windup and gets a strike call. Stoshak at third, wanted second, and Seaver at first. Couple of big strikes in a row for Moore.
Yeah, and he started that in on the legs and then ran back over the plate. That was a good pitch right there. That was classic him right there.
Detta with a good 2-strike swing to stay alive.
Yes, sir. So now, if I'm Slade, I'd go right to the breaking ball on the inside part of the plate on the back foot, because now the hitter is anxious. He don't want to strike out.
Went to heat. It's a swing and a miss, but the ball was dropped and a run's home. That's one way to get the job done.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Wow. But that's what happens when you allow a lot of traffic on the bases. And that's what you want to do as a pitcher, as young pitchers out there. You got to eliminate traffic on bases, and free walks and free passes definitely kills them.
So it's a strikeout for Moore, but the drop third strike gets Detta to first, Stosak home, and everyone else up 90 feet. Luke Nelson is the 7th batter of the inning for Walled Lake Central.
Yeah, and he's trying to overthrow a little bit here. And so, I mean, you could definitely tell, and I don't know why.
There's that breaking ball you wanted a couple of pitches ago.
That's right, yeah, because that's what he's throwing over for strikes consistently right now. And he can't get any consistent on his fastball because he's mechanically having some issues. See how he stays closed a little bit more, and he stays more in line with his breaking pitch? He's not doing that with his fastball right now.
Another shot for Moore to get out of the inning. Chopper to the left side. This is another tough play, and Scheidt couldn't make it. The defense is dooming West Bloomfield with 2 outs in this inning.
Yeah, that was a tough play. It was one of those swinging bunts, man. I don't know if he would have got him either way. But what Nelson did was he put it in play, and that's what you have to do late in the game. You got to be able to put the ball in play when you got 2 strikes on you.
Walled Lake Central scored 2 runs in this inning, and not a single thing's left the infield. Nelson, you can score that an RBI infield single.
Yeah.
Stolen base, 3 walks, a drop third strike, and Walled Lake Central's good. Okay, sure, we'll take 2 runs.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But taking advantage of what they're given. And that's just a part of baseball, right, that makes you mad and happy at the same time. But when you put yourself in a position to make them make plays, hey, here we go.
Cue shot foul down that first base line. Sometimes the best way to describe baseball is it's just a strange sport. You know, I mean, you can have an inning where you rip 3 balls hard and they go right to somebody, and then you can have an inning like this if you're Walled Lake Central. Nothing leaves the infield, 2 runs.
Yeah, but that's a killer.
Campbell hits it left side. Sliding stop. Scheidt, and he throws it away. A ball still hasn't left the infield in this inning, and now it's 3 runs for the Vikings.
Wow, and they are hitting it in the perfect place. I mean, no matter what, he was not going to make a play on that because it was hit slow enough just to be in the perfect place to get an infield single no matter what. And this is a result of having traffic on the base paths.
And now if you're Slade Moore on the mound, right, ever since they had the mound conference, the control's been a little bit better. He's been able to get ground balls, but just in the wrong spots.
Wrong spots, absolutely. But that's
a foul ball. Wise by Strong to let that ball roll foul.
Yes, that was. That was one of those tricky ones where you want to get it foul as soon, or again, it's going to be another infield single.
Another chance for Slade Moore to get out of an inning that won't end.
Yeah, and if I'm the defense here, and Slade just not going to give up any hard hits, I'd shorten up, play in a little bit so I can be able, because you're going to get some soft ground balls, and they got to know that. They've been playing with him all year.
Scheidt tried to frame that thing back over the outer half.
Yeah, it looks a bit out. Yeah, he just not have a feel for that fastball, man. And that's what you need to get back in counts, too. So just a mechanical issue is what I see. See that curveball, he stays good all the time.
Gets the strikeout to end the inning, but damage done for Walled Lake Central. 9 come to the plate, 3 runs come across on a bunch of infield singles and a bunch of walks.
Yeah.
What a start on the road for these Vikings.
What makes people stand in this line like this for 3 hours? Because we're not Dunkin' Donuts or Tim Hortons. These donuts are made fresh daily, and it's made with love and consistency. We got the same ingredients. It didn't change. The people know that, and that's why they standing out there.
In today's ever-changing mortgage lending world, the importance of true professionals has never been greater. At Success Mortgage Partners, we want you to have the experience of a lifetime. Founded and owned by Catholic League alumni, our family-centered business keeps your interest at heart as we help you navigate this turbulent market with ease. If you or a family member has a mortgage need, please call me, Owen Lee, at 734-822-8255 9792.
Walled Lake Central defense has a little bit of pressure on them now. The offense just scored 3 times in the top of the second to take a 3-0 lead. Third baseman Detta made some nice plays at that hot corner in the bottom of the first. And now, Jay, we saw Jack Shaw on the mound for Walled Lake Central, pitch to more contact in the first, and you've given him an early lead, so now that defense really does have to be on its toes.
It sure does, and you know, I just call guys like Jack Shaw what we call a thumber. You know, it doesn't overpower you, but he can spin the ball. He's going to get you out on your front foot. He's going to try to fool you here. Nothing overpowering, so he's just one of those fun guys to watch.
Slade Moore lines the first one back. Yeah, these are the types of pitchers, right, where it's kind of like a magic trick. You're walking back to the dugout and you go, wait, how do you get me out? He's not throwing all that hard.
Exactly. They go back to the dugout. It's going to be the 6th inning and he's giving up 1 hit. You know, they're going to say he's not a good pitcher, but then he's dominated. That happens all the time.
They gave the high strike there. Home plate umpire has granted the upper regions of the zone so far.
He definitely has, and that's going to be to Shaw's advantage, too.
In the air to center. Nelson running in, and 1 gone in the second.
Yeah, he is a little bit change up there, look like, out in front, get the hitters out in front. So he's a guy that's going to pitch those guys, and he expects to win. And I always talk about it, Evan, the guys with weird-looking gloves on the lefties, you probably ain't got a chance to win. It's just one of my things as coaching. I'm like, every time I see a lefty with a glove that's not new, I'm like, man, this is going to be a long day for us.
You sound like a guy who spent a lot of days and nights at the ballpark. It's just like a little stuff, you know, I know how this is going to go.
That's it. But seriously, what West Bloomfield has to do is just really bear down and be able to hit with 2 strikes, right? Be able to confident hit with 2 strikes, and that means take a lot of pitches, make him throw a lot of pitches, and be able to hit the ball the other way and get him in behind. That's exactly what you got to do to a guy like this.
Just a little bit low and a little bit out, and Lewis Donaldson has got the count at 2-1.
Yeah, if I'm Shaw, I want that call more so than I want the high call.
Here's your 2-1. Up the middle and into center. That thing had eyes. Lewis Donaldson actually ran through the first base bag. I don't think he thought that ball was going to sneak into center.
No, he didn't. That's a good hustle on his part, but that's where you got to pick up his coach and say, hey, round it. But these balls are finding holes today, right? Oh, my goodness. I've never seen so many CI singles.
This is a turf infield here at West Bloomfield, so the ball's going to move a little different, of course, than it would on grass. Brody Piker takes low.
Yeah, now we get to see how Shaw pitches with guys on base, see how he's able to overcome a little bit of adversity here.
On to short. Campbell to second for 1. The relay back is up the line. It's backed up by Seaver and right, and Stozak the catcher. So it'll be a fielder's choice. Piker takes first, 2 gone.
Yeah, it was a good pitch there, Evan, right there. He ran it in on him on the hands and got in on him, and that's the kind of pitch that you need, right? What he's doing right now is he's locating every pitch, and he has an idea because they're not getting any good swings thus far.
Brady Scheidt into the box, one of a couple of Scheidts on the roster for West Bloomfield. I'll say it because you're thinking it. You got to be careful saying their last name. You know, there are several ways where that pronunciation could go wrong.
Absolutely. I wouldn't touch it.
Oh, so you're just going to leave me out to dry? You know,
yeah,
okay, all right. See, that's good partnership right there. You know, that's teamwork making the dream work. Evan can handle it.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, they just have to be, if they want to get back into this game, they just got to be patient with him and really look at something that they can hit, get in fastball counts as much as they can, and just be able to turn it around here.
Didn't get the corner that time. You know, they're giving the high strike, but the low strike is not there.
No, and it's very unfortunate because nobody wants a high strike called anyway. The game is played down from the waist down to the knees.
Did get the corner that time for a strike. You got Piker on first with 2 outs. Walled Lake Central just scored 3 times in the top of the second on a couple of infield singles and a handful of walks. That's ball 4. First walk for Jack Shaw, and now some traffic on the bases for West Bloomfield.
Yeah, that's a great at-bat right there by Scheit. He really took advantage of looking for his pitch, and because Shaw nickeled and dimed him outside, inside, but he really looked at his pitch and was able to foul off one and then take the walk on the others.
Awkward swing and a miss for Jalen Payne. Jack Shaw gets a sword.
Yeah, good pitch right there. Pitching backwards a little bit here. Evan, right, he's starting off with a breaking ball. Most likely come with a fastball outer in.
You know, I think about this a lot, watching every level of baseball. Is there such a thing as pitching backward anymore?
No, it's
like,
not. It's the normal thing now.
Yeah. You know, it used to, of course, be throw the fastball first to get a strike, but now everyone can throw a curveball for a strike.
Yeah.
So, or a slider or whatever.
And you need to be able to do that so you can get back in the count anytime you want or anytime you have to.
All right, so let's think here. 1 and 2 the count, 2 on and 2 out. The crafty lefty, Shaw, what are you throwing here?
Nothing good to hit, honestly. I'm probably going to throw something that's going to start in on his right hip and then break down on out. But most of the time, these high school pitchers throw outside, which is fine. Because I'm going to come back with it twice. So if I miss on the inside, I'm going to come back with it on the outside. See, and he's trying to overthrow it right there.
2 and 2 on Payne. Coaching staff loves this left-handed hitter. He's going to Wilberforce to play college ball. Spot here to get West Bloomfield right back in the game after giving up 3 runs in the top of this inning. Sprays it to left. It's down. They will send Piker and then give him a late stop sign, and he's caught in between third and home. Back to third, runner safe. They get bailed out. Bases loaded.
Wow, that's it. And he never picked up his coach because Josh came back into the box, deep into the area where he's supposed to be as a coach. And then he was like back, and he never saw him. But he heard him at the last minute, so it was just not good base running in that time.
And then they get bailed out. Walled Lake Central can't execute the rundown. As Payne single to left eventually loads the bases. And this is a huge moment. Connor Strong stepping into the box, and they'll talk with Jack Shaw on the mound.
Yeah, so Connor's going to have to really hunt that fastball because, right, he has nowhere to put him. So he really has to hunt that fastball, and you're looking in one area, one zone, and whatever your strength is, this is what you want. And you got to be comfortable, hitting with 2 strikes. It's just a bottom line.
That single for Payne just came with 2 strikes the other way.
That was a great at-bat, absolutely great at-bat.
And by the way, there's good speed on the bases here, so if Strong can get one to the gap, it may clear the bases and tie the game.
Oh, yeah. The wind has stopped a little bit, actually shifted, blowing in.
Stevie Fountain is on deck, too. You do not want to pitch to that dude with the bases loaded.
No, not at all.
Jack Shaw's thinking, I got to get this 9-hitter, Connor Strong.
He just got to continue to pitch with his pitch pattern that he's been doing and been very successful. Don't try to overthrow here because now you're going to speed up your fastball a little bit more, and that's going to be more of what they like. So just continue to pitch the way you've been pitching if he wants some success.
Just a little bit low and outside, but felt like a good spot there.
Man, that was a great spot. Catcher didn't move, knees right down the outer half. Guess that's why we're over here and he's behind the plate.
It's not the first time we'll say that today.
No, not at all.
High chopper. Shaw flips to home, and the bases are left loaded.
What a good pitch there. Got him out front.
To win playoff baseball games, you got to have nerves of steel. Jack Shaw just did, and he gets out of the jam.
Look, everybody wanna go and talk it. At the same time, gotta walk it. Better yet, run, go, hit a lick, divvy up with my homies, and we do it all again. Whenever we get it, there's no hesitation, no.
Your Catholic faith, it's at the core of who you are, what you do, and the decisions you make. At Alliance Catholic Credit Union, we make your faith and finances work together. From home needs to business needs, from school to retirement, we've got the financial well-being of our Catholic community covered. Visit us today and see how your faith and finances can work together. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Top of the third inning. High school games are 7 innings, so every inning just means a little bit more, and that second inning could prove to be a pivotal one. Walled Lake Central scores 3 runs, and West Bloomfield leaves the bases loaded. So now pressure's on here, Jay, for Slade Moore to have a clean third inning.
Yes, it is, and he really needs to figure his fastball out right now.
Good-looking fastball there in the outer half for a strike.
Yeah, it ran back over the plate because he's got a lot of arm side run here. It was going to be to his advantage.
That is the first time a low strike has been granted all day, and now Jack Shaw down in the count.
Yeah, because it looked similar in a similar spot, but even though it was down, so I guess the umpire was like, okay, he showed me he can throw it.
A little chin music to make the count 2-2.
Yeah, that's a setup pitch there, Evan, right now. So I'm expecting him to come curveball down and away.
Ooh, went to the fastball low, but in the spot you were thinking.
Yeah, absolutely. A little surprised at that because he dominates with that slider. But that's a good pitch, though, man. Good pitch. There it is.
Got the corner for strike 3. 4th strikeout for Slade Moore.
Yeah, that was a good setup there, too, right there to really lock in to make sure he can get that curveball over for a strike.
Parker Stasak to the plate. Right back to that breaking ball. You've been on it all day. The fastball mechanics for Slater off, but when he throws the breaking ball, it looks really good.
Money, and he stays close. He stays in line, and it's very easy to see. See how he kicks his leg over and comes out of the zone.
Parker walked and scored in that second inning where Walled Lake Central sent 9 to the plate. They scored 3 runs in the second, Walled Lake Central did, without a single ball leaving the infield.
I know.
Got 3 walks, had 3 infield singles. They like to say in football all the time where you have a long drive, you're nickel and diming your way to the end zone. That was kind of a nickel and dime second inning for Walled Lake Central.
It sure was. But what they did well was put the ball in play. I mean, make them make plays, especially with all that traffic.
Someone's going to have to make a play here. Scheidt back at short, and 2 gone.
Yeah, it was a good sequence of pitches there for the young man. You know, he really stayed down in the zone despite the umpire calling up, which really makes it difficult to hit, right? You get guys to pop up and ground weak pop-ups, weak ground balls, and he's just got to stay at that in that area. And what's going to happen is they're giving him a chance to settle in.
Buckley chases that fastball on his hands for a strike. Tried to bunt last time, but popped out to the catcher, Scheidt. This one is over Scheidt at short. Takes the breaking ball, hits it to left, and a 2-out base runner for the Vikings.
Yeah, that's what happens when you get the ball up, right? And so if these pitchers are forced to pitch up in the zone, that's going to be difficult for them. And that's why I don't like the high strike at all.
It's a strike on the inner half. Walled Lake Central, only time they've tried to steal a base today, they tried to pull off a double steal in the second, and the runner was thrown out at third. So technically one stolen base today. Looks like Moore means business in this at-bat against Jacob Wan.
Yes, he is, and that had a little bit more hair on that baseball, that fastball right there, right by him.
That breaking ball had some snap to it.
It sure did. That's that strike 3 pitch right there. That's very, very tough to lay off on it. So hats off.
Hard hit, but right to short. They'll go the short way to second, and that's that in the third for Walled Lake Central. Moore doesn't give up a run in the third. The 2-out single for Buckley does no harm, and it stays 3-0 as we go bottom 3.
Hi, I'm Nick DePonio, and this is HVAC.
Bottom of the third coming up. Jack Shaw just left the bases loaded for West Bloomfield in the bottom of the second. Got Connor Strong to ground out to end the inning. But it's going to get tricky here. Bottom of the third. Top of the lineup coming. Led off by Stevie Fountain. Future Spartan at Michigan State. Then Cam LaFlame and Logan Scheidt after that. Well, hit the ball pretty hard in the first. Time number 2 through the lineup for Jack Shaw.
Yeah, Jake got a couple good players coming in there this coming year. He's got my sidearmer from Brighton, Andrew Everson. So I'm looking for Michigan State to do some really special things here in the future.
Of course, the Big Ten baseball landscape has now changed so much with UCLA, USC, Oregon, Washington. It still feels weird to say that they're in the Big Ten.
I know. It made it tougher. Made that conference just so tough now.
Especially with the tradition of, USC, all their great success, UCLA. Jackie Robinson literally played for UCLA. I mean, it's crazy, right? Jackie Robinson is now technically a Big Ten alum. What a world we live in. What a world we live in.
That is awesome.
We'll take him.
Yes, sir.
Jack Shaw does not have a strikeout yet in this game. What'd you call him, a thumber?
A thumber, yeah, and I don't think he's going to have many, if any. Yeah, he's just going to demand the strike zone and every inch of that plate. He's going to use every diameter of that plate.
Fountain drives this ball to center. Nelson going back with room. He's been busy out there in center.
Yes, he has. And, Shaw is doing a really good job of getting those guys to get under the baseball. So it's going to be a lot of work infield and outfield.
It's 380 to center here at West Bloomfield. To the power alley in right center, it's about 355. Same in left. Down each line, it's about 320. Technically 315 down the left field line. Last time up, Cam LaFlame tried to go to that power alley in right center, but it was tracked down by Nelson. See what Cam can do here as West Bloomfield tries to get back in the game. That thing was perfectly placed.
It sure was, and he's a strike thrower, man, so I'm telling you, they haven't heard me yet. They're going to have to be comfortable hitting with 2 strikes.
That may be his best 2-pitch sequence of the game.
It sure was. Nothing was over the middle of the plate there so far.
Especially as a lefty hitter, when you're in the box and you see a pitch like that, you're thinking, well, what am I supposed to do with that? Wave and a miss. Right on cue, Jack Shaw, like a master artist, strikes out Cam on 3 straight pitches.
Yes, he did, and that was master work right there. He did a great job of mixing it up in the right time. And so what Cam had to do there, in my opinion, is you can't be taking that fastball because you're only going to see it once.
Low and into Logan Scheidt.
Come on, Logan, let's go. Hit it hard somewhere.
First 2 batters in this third down quickly for West Bloomfield. Their 1 and their 2 hitter. Scheidt's the 3 hitter. This one hit to the left center field gap. That is going to split the gap and roll to the wall. Scheidt to second. And the best swing of the day for West Bloomfield.
And that was one of those pitches that got away from him. He was set up, his catcher was set up completely inside and almost in the ball area to hit him. And then he missed out over the middle of the plate. You cannot do that to a right-handed hot hitter at that point.
Well, Jay, I was going to bring up after that pitch before the double, the way that Logan kind of crowds that plate. It's tough to get it inside when a guy hugs the plate like that.
It is, but if you miss over the middle, that's disaster, which is what happened. And he's fortunate enough that it didn't go out.
And now can Slade Moore, the pitcher for West Bloomfield, help himself at the plate. That'll help. That gets away from Stasak, the catcher, and Scheidt will take third on the wild pitch.
Yeah, and it's 2 outs, too. If I'm Shaw, I'm going to nickel and dime him here, too, as well, to get to the lefty if I have to, but I'm not giving him anything to hit right now.
Yeah, Donaldson, the lefty, is on deck here. And right on cue, a breaking ball low and in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is the intentional walk. You want to try to see if you can get him to chase something out of the zone, but you don't want to give him anything good to hit either.
Good looking pitch on there right there.
Yes, it was. That might have been a mess up, right?
It's one of those where Shaw throws and he's thinking, oh boy, oh thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God.
I know. Exactly.
2-1. Base hit left field. Trotting in to score from third. Slade Moore helps himself. And some 2-out damage for West Bloomfield.
Yeah, what a good at bat. And he tried to go inside there again and snuck out over the plate. And Slade did a great job of staying connected and being able to hit that ball hard through the hole.
Well, you're talking about the old intentional walk. Well, when you do almost throw a strike on accident, then it becomes, well, I may as well go at the guy, and that can happen.
It sure can. And so you just got to stick to his plan. I tell pitchers that all the time. Stick to your plan.
So watch here Lewis Donaldson in that left-handed batter's box, kind of the open stance, Jay. So you would think if you're Shaw, now you're trying to attack that outside corner?
Correct, absolutely. And the only pitch you want to throw him inside is high and up with 2 strikes. See if he'll chase, and so you can come right back down with that slider. And it looks like Shaw is right now is trying to overthrow a little bit. He came a little bit out of his alignment there.
Sun playing peekaboo with the clouds here today. When the sun's out, it feels warmer than it is. First pitch temp was 55. I guess the weather's finally going to be in the 80s this week, and I think I speak for everybody. Thank God.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
It is time to pull out the shorts officially.
Yes, it is. And not have to go to Mexico or a Caribbean or
Florida. Or some place where it's not 55 degrees on May 31st, yeah. I guess the only saving grace is it's also, you know, cold and everywhere else in the Midwest and the East Coast right now. So
absolutely.
In the air to right. Receiver came in. Now he's going back, but he still got it. And West Bloomfield will settle for the 1 run. 2-out RBI single for Slade Moore. And it's a 2-run game as we go to the 4th.
The store is set up. He's got the order, and he's off. It's a full court press. These brands are knocking it out of the park. This, my friends, is the speed we've come to expect from this team. Just look at the precision of that move. And it's out of here.
All right, this is Adam, take 2. Mark?
I guess.
I go like this.
The best part about playing football in Texas has to be the reaction from the community.
I want to encourage others to play volleyball or choir because you get to experience new things and do stuff that you've never done before. My reason why is passion.
My reason why is pride.
Pretty steady wind here today at West Bloomfield High School. Playoff district baseball. Walled Lake Western beat North Farmington 1-0 in our first game of the day, so they're waiting for the winner of this game. West Bloomfield on paper with the 27-10 record coming in against a Walled Lake Central team that's under 500, but this is the beauty of winner-go-home baseball. You never know what's going to happen, Jay. I mean, in this sport, obviously, you can be the Yankees and you can be playing the Rockies, but the Rockies can beat you on a random day. So that's why there's so much pressure in games like this.
It is, especially now because it's winner go home, right? And so a lot of times really good teams put way more pressure on themselves, especially if they get down behind. But championships teams laugh at getting behind. And just another opportunity for us to go and get more swings, right? So, yeah, but the pressure gets to them.
Receiver stays alive, spoils the breaking ball from Slade Moore, future Wolverine. Does have 4 strikeouts in this game, but he gave up the 3 runs in the second inning. In case you missed the second, it was a very interesting second inning for Walled Lake Central. They scored 3 runs on 3 infield singles and 3 walks. There was a drop third strike in there too.
Yeah, it was. It was a weird inning.
Wave and a miss. Slade Moore, when he's been cooking today, has thrown those breaking balls really, really well.
Yes, he has, because that's the pitch that he can stay in line and he's in control of his body. So hopefully he can figure it out mechanically for the fastball as well, and then he'll be a force to reckon with.
Chandler Detta at the plate. This is the guy who had the drop third strike that allowed the first run to come home for the Vikings in the second inning. Bit of an old school look here for Chandler in that right-handed batter's box, crouching down, choking up on the bat. Trying to make that strike zone small. You know, like Ricky Henderson used to crouch down and make that thing tiny.
And the great Pete Rose as well. He did that too, especially with 2 strikes.
Come on, Logan, let's go, bud.
I like to see him come here with a changeup. I think a changeup way outside where Detta can't get a bat on it would possibly get him to chase it here.
Especially because these last couple pitches, Moore's gone up with the fastball, right?
Absolutely.
So that's what he's sitting on.
Yep, for sure.
1-2. high and out for a ball.
Yeah, and I don't know if he tried to throw a change up there. It was a little bit faster, but not as fast as fastball. But it looked like his elbow he tried to push it out.
Oh, no. Well, at least he got hit where there's a lot of padding. Oh, no. Poor Chandler.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, but that's that mechanical flaw or issue right now that I see in Slade Moore right now. And I've seen this kid pitch a couple times. In fact, I want to say, if I can remember correctly, pitched against my summer team back in probably about a year or 2 years ago here. And he was dominant.
Poor Chandler Detta at first is trying so hard not to rub. You know, of all the places to get hit.
Yeah.
Third time up for Luke Nelson. Had one of those RBI infield singles in the second. Flew out to left field in the first.
Yeah, I tell you, Evan, they're still not getting good swings. I mean, he is jamming guys. They're not getting the barrel on it. They're just. That slider is amazing.
Yeah. On the verge of strikeout number 6. Nelson stays alive, spoiled that breaking ball again.
Yes, he did. I don't know how he got a piece of that one. I don't think I could have got a piece of that with my tennis racket.
Detta's off first, 2-step lead. And they got him. Remember how we were saying a lefty can control the run game? Slade Moore just did.
That's it. That was a great pickoff move because what he did there, so that's his pickoff move. He never even looked at where he was throwing it and looked like he was going to the plate because it's the same move he does to the plate. And he didn't look to the last minute and then boom. That was absolutely priceless right there.
Ripped right back to the screen, right over our heads.
And baseball is a game of momentum too, right? That's momentum building. It's just like basketball is no different. I tell people that all the time. Like, you give a team an opportunity to gain momentum, they're going to take advantage of that.
Oh, that's paint. Ring him up, strike 3. 6 strikeout for Slade Moore. He's starting to feel it as these Lakers starting to build momentum. Back to the plate after this.
In today's ever-changing mortgage lending world, the importance of true professionals has never been greater. At Success Mortgage Partners, we want you to have the experience of a lifetime. Founded and owned by Catholic League alumni, our family-centered business keeps your interest at heart as we help you navigate this turbulent market with ease. If you or a family member has a mortgage need, please call me, Owen Lee, at 734-822-9792.
What makes people stand in this line like this for 3 hours? Because we're not Dunkin' Donuts or Tim Hortons. These donuts are made fresh daily, and it's made with love and consistency. We got the same ingredients. It didn't change. The people know that, and that's why they standing out there.
Jack Shaw, in these first 3 innings against a pretty darn good West Bloomfield lineup, has held them to 1 run, but he's had to dance out of potential danger. Gave up a couple of hits in the second and third and left 4 guys on base in the process. Brody Piker, 6-hitter for West Bloomfield, kicking it off. Then Brady Scheit and Jalen Pine after that. This one looped to left. Buckley's got it on the run. 1 pitch and 1 out for Shaw here in the 4th.
Yeah, that was something that he got, and probably was a change up there out on front, and this is what I'm saying. You have to understand, when you're facing soft tossing lefties, as we call them, thumbers, you're going to have to really make sure you get a fastball to hit. But it was a good swing. You just was out front a little bit.
Here's Brady Scheit. And that's another thing. it's a playoff game, right? So they were still in the fourth, 7-inning game, still time for West Bloomfield. But as the game goes on and the outs creep up, you're starting to think in your mind, man, we don't get a hit or two here. Our season is over.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then the expectation for them, because they were have a better record, is we're going to come out here and play. And so you hope that they're not looking at Wall Lake Central right now.
Right.
Because looking through Western.
Let's get out there. Come on, Brady, any way you can.
Brady Scheit
Come on, Brady.
about to head to NYU to play college baseball. Heard a rumor you can get a decent degree from NYU.
Oh, my God, yeah. Write your check after you graduate.
Yep. Just have to write checks while you're in Manhattan for a few years. You know, heard a rumor rent ain't cheap.
Yeah,
heard
no,
a rumor.
It's not.
Brady walked his first time up. Only walk that Jack Shaw's had in this game.
Yeah, they were just not getting good swings out of Shaw either. So
ahead on another batter. Can he put Scheit away? He tried to get him to chase, he wouldn't. And Scheit has walked against Shaw for the second time.
yeah, I don't mind that pitch right there. Change up down to 3-2, because the hitters sometimes they press and swing at that. And then you got a lefty up on, that was on deck. So what? Here you go.
Jalen Payne had an awesome at-bat last time. Took Shaw deep in the count to 2 strikes and singled into left. Asak with a nice block move into his left to keep Scheit at first.
Yeah, it was. That was a really good block. That was really a wild pitch there. Almost.
Attaboy. Good idea.
Payne gonna go play college baseball at Wilberforce. One of the favorites of the coaching staff. You know, it's kind of like your kids, right? You're not supposed to have a favorite, but you do. And
Yes.
that's coaching staffs. And they said we kind of like Jalen. It's one of our favorites.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, he's fun. He brings a lot to their dugout based on what Josh was saying. And so whenever you have kids that can bring some, looseness to the dugout, it's always a plus.
Even at the high school level, you play a lot of games. You got to stay loose.
Yeah.
Back in the count he was in last time when he singled on 1-2.
Yeah, he's kind of locked in right now.
Scheit at first, a 1.5 lead. Shaw looks, throws. Gave him the upper region of the zone for strike 3. That has been a strike most of the game.
It has been. And that's what you tell hitters, young hitters too, is like, you know what, no matter if you think it's a strike or not, if the umpire is consistently calling it, you got to protect the plate at 2 strikes. It's very valuable time.
Here's Connor Strong. This is going to get the runner to second. Stasak again, a nice block, but just not much you could do with that one. And West Bloomfield will get a runner into scoring position.
Yeah, that was a fastball that was way away from the plate. Some catching coaches teach them not to block it, just try to scoop it, and you don't scoop it, go get it. But that was a great job of blocking right there.
A chance for Connor Strong to drive in a run. Now, Connor had that chance in the second inning. West Bloomfield had the bases loaded, but Strong grounded back to Shaw. Got a good hitter's count here.
Yeah, the goal is as a hitter here in this situation is not to try to do too much on the 2-0 swing.
Now you'd go, okay, maybe they're working around him to go lefty on left, but the guy on deck is Big Stevie Fountain.
Yeah.
So.
I knew he was going to come with that, but what he's trying to do is this is his game plan, and he wanted to get him to chase with a 2-1 curveball. So he wants the hitter to be guessing what's coming next and not to be locked in on a certain pitch. And so right now Shaw is doing a good job of that. And that's the telltale sign of a thumber, as we call it back in the day.
Slow roller back to him. Shaw, for the second time, gets strong to ground out to him, and he leaves more Lakers on base. They've left 5 on in the first 4 innings, and Walled Lake Central starting to think upset.
At Alliance Catholic Credit Union, we're your financial guardian angel. We're here to help you achieve your dreams. A new home, a Catholic education, that business you are working to build. We're here to support the goals of your family, your retirement, and the community that surrounds you. We're here to offer your trusted financial services inspired by Catholic values. And like your guardian angel, we'll always be by your side. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Look, everybody wanna go and talk. At the same time, gotta walk it. Better yet, run, go, hit a lick, divvy up with my homies, and we do it all again.
Winner of this game gets Walled Lake Western for a district crown later on this afternoon. Turning into a nice afternoon here at West Bloomfield High, but the fans rooting for the Lakers here starting to get a little nervous. We go to the 5th. You play 7 innings in high school, so Walled Lake Central coming back to the mats with this 2-run lead, trying to tack on against Slade Moore, who has started to figure it out the last couple of innings. He struck out 3 combined in the last 2. But still, Jay, the problem for him today, Slade has not looked his best because he keeps missing with that fastball.
He is, and again, it's a mechanical issue because his arm is dragging and leaving it out over the plate.
It's a good-looking heater there.
Yeah, but that's the same pitch. He just got a little bit more of the plate on it. But if I was the hitter, I'm laying off that. Make the umpire call it a strike.
Nick Campbell just took a knee buckler for strike 2.
Yes, he did. And so, you know, that's the hard part. You got a really good pitcher like this, but you eliminate his fastball right now. You looking curve. Look for something up that you can see up so you can drive it. You got to have a plan going up there.
Wave and a miss. We don't really need air conditioning on a day like today, but Nick Campbell just gave it to us on another good knee buckler from Slade Moore. Strikeout number 7.
Yes, he did. And that was a good sequence of pitches there. He missed with the fastball, came back over with a good fastball, and then two sliders.
Malzewski coming to the plate for Walled Lake Central. He's had trouble against Moore today. He struck out a couple of times. And Tyler's got to be thinking, of course, I'm down in the count 0-2.
Yeah, and he's got to step out right now because Slade right now is working fast.
Scheit at short, guns it across, 2 gone.
And that's to his advantage. He's a pitcher that's got to work, got to keep working, got to keep throwing pitches, got to keep getting back on the mound, go. And you got to slow him down, and you got to call timeout, you get yourself ready. You can't let him get in a rhythm, but now he's getting into a rhythm.
Two gone, and Jack Shaw takes strike.
Yeah, and he's looking at him. He wants to get the ball and go. We love playing defense behind guys like this.
Looking ahead, bottom 5, West Bloomfield will send the top of the lineup back to the plate. But that combination has struggled. Logan Scheit has doubled in this game, but Stevie Fountain's 0 for 2. Cam LaFlame's 0 for 2. So they've got to be thinking, okay, we're due.
Yeah, absolutely they are. But their job is for them is we got to get on base. You can't be thinking you're going to get it close with one swing. With the wind blowing the way it is, and you got a thumber up there who's not supplying any power, you got to get on base.
Swing and a miss. Slade is feeling it. Took him a little bit of time on a chillier May day, but now he is all warmed up. Future Wolverine has struck out 8, and he's keeping his Lakers in this district game.
As the voice of Michigan's student athletes, the Student Advisory Council's role
is to convey the message of how high school sports should be played.
We are responsible for helping the MHSAA maintain a positive and healthy atmosphere
in which interscholastic athletes can thrive.
We believe that athletes should be competitive,
sportsmanlike, and excel academically.
We believe that students in the stands should have fun,
but not take away the focus from the game.
We believe coaches should act like teachers,
helping student athletes develop while still keeping high school sports in perspective.
We believe that parents should always be positive role models
and support their child's decisions.
We believe officials commit their own time to high school sports,
and respect should always be shown and given to them.
The most important goal for student athletes is to enjoy high school sports
while keeping a high level of respect between all those involved in the games.
Enjoy the game.
You know, there's multiple ways to skin a cat. There's multiple ways to pitch as a lefty. On one side, you got West Bloomfield starter Slade Moore, who has given up 3 runs, but he's also given up 1 hit that's been out of the infield, and now he's struck out 8. But on the other side, Jay, as you keep talking about Jack Shaw for Walled Lake Central against a really good West Bloomfield lineup, he's just kept him off balance the whole game and held him to just the 1 run.
Yes, he has, and that's pitching. You know, the art of pitching. If you don't have it, you know, a la Frank Tanana used to throw in the 90s, and then he got hurt, and then he learned how to be a thumber in the big leagues of all, and the guys just couldn't hit him because, you know, you pitched around the plate.
I'd like to thank you, by the way, for mentioning a Catholic Central Shamrock.
Absolutely.
That warms my heart more than you know. Fountain gets it to roll fair down that line. The geometry worked for Stevie. He'll hold at first. Tying run coming to the plate for the Lakers. Down to their final 9 outs all of a sudden.
Yeah, that was a mistake, defensive play right there by Detta, because he did not get to the line right away. He just assumed that was going to be foul, and so that cost him.
Chandler's played some good defense at third, but that one ate him up. Flame had a good at-bat in the first, drove run to right center, but the wind knocked it down a little bit.
Yeah, now West Bloomfield has to really be picky, right? Because he doesn't throw over the plate a lot. You're looking for 1 pitch and 1 pitch only.
Keep this in mind, too. Fountain at first has good speed. He's stolen 25 bases. Of course, it's harder to steal off a lefty, but if Cam gets one to the gap, he may score from first.
He may as well. But I tell you what, right now, as a hitter, you have to be patient. Even on that ball that was outside, it was a fastball. That's not your pitch. It was a good take. Really good take right there. So you just got to eliminate the pressure. Because he's got to throw a strike.
Yeah.
Right? It's on him. You just got to put a good swing on it. That's all you can do. See, the pressure's on Shaw right now. As a hitter, right, you just got to stay the course and look around the plate, and here's where I can do what I can do.
2-1 on LaFlame. Now 3-1. Logan Scheidt waiting on deck, and he ripped a double to left center field in the third.
And the Flame looks locked in right now. This is probably one of the better at-bats I've seen so far against Shaw.
3-1. That's one of his best pitches today.
Absolutely, and I think that's a good take as well, because that's on their outer half, and you're not looking for nothing right now. Now you're 2 strikes, and you know he can't beat you in anything. So you just got to look, hang in there, and see if you can get a good pitch.
Runner goes. That's strike 3. Fountain just stole his 26th base of the season, but Cam took strike 3 looking. Great pitch from Shaw, and Cam was frustrated.
Yeah, rightfully so. He should be, because that was a tough pitch to take right there. You cannot take that pitch. I mean, you worked the count. You were locked in. That was a pitch that you could at least threw your bat at it to foul a pitch off. At that point, it becomes a team at bat, right? You got to really fight to get in play.
Can Logan Scheidt get West Bloomfield closer? Doubled with 2 outs in the third. Later came around to score on a Slade Moore RBI single. Slade's on deck. Scheitz at the plate. Maybe the game's about to change for West Bloomfield. Little nubber rolling back fair.
Wow.
What a break for Walled Lake Central.
Wow. That was absolutely incredible, but that's what happens when you face a thumber.
Yeah.
Right? Change up on the outside part of the plate. He gets the cap of the bat, end of the bat on it, and wow, it started foul and went fair.
And smart by Chestnut at first, too. He saw that thing rolling. All right, I'll just wait.
Absolutely.
Slade Moore to the plate. You're going to pull an upset like Walled Lake Central's trying to do. You need some breaks. If you're West Bloomfield, you see that thing roll back fair, and you're thinking, oh, I don't know. That's not a good sign.
I know. What do we got to do right now? Slade just got to get a quality at bat here for his team.
A little bit low, 2-0.
Yeah, if I'm coaching in college, I'm screaming right now to umpire. That better be a strike all day.
I thought you said earlier you evolved and you didn't yell at umps later in your career. Come on, Jay.
If a game on the line like this, the tide changes a little bit.
That was definitely high and out. So you got the open bags here at first and second. Donaldson on deck is a lefty.
Yep.
Back to your thinking earlier, maybe Shaw, this is the old unintentional, intentional walk.
Absolutely.
And there's ball 4. So he walks Moore on 4 pitches.
Yep.
Now, not only do you get lefty on left, you also get the force play at second as well as first.
You sure do. You sure do. And here's a good opportunity for them to see if they see something in Shaw. We haven't seen his move yet. So I'm anxious to see with his best base runners on base right now, what is he going to do here? And maybe that's what they're coming out to talk about.
It's a very experienced Walled Lake Central coaching staff. We were talking earlier about the resume, the lines on that resume for their head coach, one of the busiest men in Metro Detroit. Tyler Troyer, head coach here for the 2nd year, helps coach the Northville football team, played at Northville when they were state championship contenders. Of course, Northville won the state title last year. Eked out Brother Rice by a run in a great baseball game up at MSU.
Yes, it was.
I mean, as a player and as a coach, when you're in the right competitive mindset, like this is what you live for.
This is awesome, right? Run games, 2-run games. This is the type of stuff that, brings out champions.
Come on, Louie.
And champions find a way to win.
On the ground.
Someone will advance out of this district later on today. 2 on and 2 out. Walled Lake Central and Jack Shaw protecting a 2-run lead as he'll face the lefty with that open stance, Lewis Donaldson.
Come on, Louie. Let's go.
Moore creeping off first. Chopper up the middle. And they get to the, no, he didn't get to the bag. Malzewski collided with Campbell. They rule safe, and Walled Lake Central can't believe it.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, he must have stepped. What he's telling them that he stepped, but he missed a bag. Wow, what a break. But that was the decisiveness of the defenders there because nobody took charge to go right after the ball.
Jack Shaw, the pitcher, was so frustrated, but based on that replay we saw, I think the base umpire made a good call. That was just all doomed by the fact that Campbell, the shortstop, instead of saying close to the bag, it looked like he was trying to field it too.
He did, and it caused a little bit of confusion with everybody on the field.
And now can Piker turn around this game? 2 on and 2 out. Guy whose brother's playing college ball at Michigan State. He wants to go play some college ball himself.
Yes,
big opportunity here.
Yes, he does. That was a good pitch right there. Must have been a little bit out in the outer half, but he's been calling that too. So everybody gets tight in a situation like this, Evan, even umpires.
Three and 0 as Brady Scheit, who's walked twice against Shaw, waits on deck.
I actually like that pitch right there. I would have wanted him to get a little bit more to play, but that was a great pitch.
3-0 splits the plate. So single, stolen base, walk, and fielder's choice have gotten a run across for West Bloomfield. Is there more runs here in the fifth?
I'd run a time pick play at first base right now and get us out the inning.
Wave and a miss. Does Jack Shaw have one more magical pitch? He has left 5 Lakers on base combined in the last 3 innings. Trying to get Brody Piker and get out of this inning. He did get out of the inning. Jack Shaw, strikeout number 4. Maybe the biggest of the season for Walled Lake Central. One of the smallest men on the field is playing like the biggest today.
Yes, he is.
The store is set up. He's got the order, and he's off. It's a full court press. These brands are knocking it out of the park. This, my friends, is the speed we've come to expect from this team. Just look at the precision of that move. And it's out of here.
Lowering the shoulder.
Swing and a miss. McGinley scores!
And it's going to be a challenge for us. I mean, they're a really talented football team. I think everybody knows that.
4 wide receivers. Pressure. Steps up. Marshall wants to run again. Cuts down the middle of the field. All alone. Touchdown! Warriors! What a cut.
Pitching change here for West Bloomfield. Slade Moore is out. 5 innings, 3 runs, a couple earned, and he ends up with 8 strikeouts. Brody Piker will come in. And Jay, but before we start talking about Piker on the mound, we got to tip our caps here to Slade Moore, right? A lot of pitchers, they'll tell you that they're proudest of themselves when they know they don't have their best stuff, and they battle through it. And Slade battled today.
He battled big time, and that's what you want. You gave your team a chance to win the game, and so that's the veteran good part of him, right? Because he didn't have his good stuff.
So now as Piker comes in and throws low to Parker Stasak for ball 1, there's a lot of pressure on him here in the 6th inning.
It sure is. It sure is. And I want to correct myself. So he had good stuff, not his great stuff.
I mean, he's a guy going to Michigan. Like when he has his great stuff, you see it. But still, when you have just your good stuff and 8 Ks,
that's right.
We'll take that.
Absolutely, we will.
And think about it, too, for Moore. He walked 4 guys in the first 2 innings, and then he didn't walk any in his last 3. He clearly figured something out.
He sure did. And so, but that's what makes him great. That's why a guy like him is going to the University of Michigan, Power 5 conference, and is going to pitch, one of those weekday games. So, because he just knows what he can do, and he knows his stuff.
Brody's brother, you may remember, now pitching at Michigan State. Brody's got some really good stuff himself. When he's right, electric right arm for West Bloomfield. Trying to keep them in the game. 1-run game in the 6th. Parker works the walk as he wouldn't chase that breaking ball.
That's exactly what you don't need in that situation. Your team just worked hard to get 2 runs on the board. I mean, decrease the lead. And so you cannot allow a leadoff walk in that situation whatsoever.
They'll run for the catcher at first. 3rd at bat of the game for Caden Buckley. Does have a base hit in this game. Singled to left field in the third. Also popped out to the catcher in the second when he tried to bunt for a base hit.
Yeah, I'm surprised here he's not screwing around and being a two-hole here. All right, here we go.
Tried to bunt again. They throw back to first. Runner safe. As again, Buckley having issues getting a bunt down.
Yeah, we have to stay in there. I can't tell you enough. You have to stay in there and see it down.
Walled Lake Central has never trailed in this game. Scored 3 times in the second. They sent 9 to the plate. 3 walks, 3 infield singles, and a drop third strike in that inning. Right now it's holding up as they try to upset West Bloomfield on the road and play Walled Lake Western for a district title later today. Oh, it drops in left. Payne's out there in left now. They moved him from center to left. And something about that fly ball, maybe it was the wind, messed him up out there.
Yeah, he got in on him a little bit, and so he really didn't hit it. He didn't get it. Then what you tell young outfielders, too, anything from a lefty hitter, if you're on the left side, is going to tail to the line. So you got to get to the line as fast as you can. But he did stumble on his way out to the ball.
Riker was playing left. He's now pitching, and they put Slade Moore, who was pitching in center, as Payne's now in left. Juan squares and pops it up. That's the second time today Walled Lake Central's done that, trying to drop down a sac bunt.
Yeah, that wasn't a good pitch to even try, too. Just pull your bat back and leave another pitch, because that was a ball on the outside part of the plate. Just was not a good pitch to go after. And that's a lost art in bunting, right? These kids just don't do it well anymore.
In their defense, they don't really do it well in the majors either. I mean, how many times are you watching a game today? Like, oh, just get the bunt down. Then again, you know, guys are throwing 98 turbo sinkers up there. So,
That's true,
know.
yeah. It's a lot easier in college and high school, though. I'll tell you that. Just got to put your face into it.
Got the corner that time, and Seaver down in the count to Piker 0-2. Still the runners on first and second, but this inning looks like it's changing quickly in Brody's favor. Wave and a miss. Seaver was way late on that fastball.
Yes, he was. I don't know that he saw it, to be honest with you. I mean, it was that late. That was unfortunate, or he was just guessing the curveball.
First strikeout for Piker out of the pen, and now he faces 9-hitter Chandler Detta.
Yeah, this was a golden opportunity for Central to get back into really patting that lead, and to get the bunt down was crucial here in that situation, man. I can't tell you, that changed the tide of the game.
That has had a couple of good at-bats today. And this one sprayed to shallow right. The Flames got it. Crisis averted. Walled Lake Central leaves 2 on base. That's now 6 left on in the game. And West Bloomfield back to the plate. Down by a run with their season on the line. Bottom 6.
Hi, I'm Nick DePonio, and this is HVAC.
Pressure's on. West Bloomfield going to the bottom of the 6th inning. Their season down to its last 6 outs. 3-2. Walled Lake Central, those 3 runs they scored in the top of the second are still holding up. West Bloomfield got a run in the third and a run in the fifth, but they've left 3 on in the second, 1 on in the third, 1 on in the fourth, 2 on in the fifth. And they'll send 7, 8, 9 to the plate here in the bottom of the 6th. It'll be Brady Scheit, Jalen Payne, and Connor Strong, the 3 scheduled, against Jack Shaw, who struck out Piker swinging to end the 5th and leave 2 on. No matter how this game ends, Jay, and there's still a shot West Bloomfield rallies back and wins this game.
Absolutely.
But it's hard not to be impressed with what Jack Shaw has done.
Yeah, he's took the bull by the horns and really went down there and be a bulldog. I mean, he's done every single thing right. He's pitched around. He's pitched backwards. He's done all the little things and got these hitters so frustrated that they don't even know what to do. Like, he's first pitch fastball, he's swung through it. Next pitch fastball, same spot, he takes it, right?
And Brady Scheit may be seeing Jack Shaw the best today. He's walked against him twice.
Yes, he has.
Payne on deck has singled and struck out against Shaw. Connor Strong, the 9-hitter, has grounded out twice back to the pitcher. One, 2. Oh, he tempted him upstairs, and Brady wouldn't bite.
Yeah, he's really got to stay focused here, man, and really try to hit the ball the other way, especially because, you know, his pattern is curveball now.
Man, another good at-bat here from Scheit. Shaw gets ahead on him 0-2, and all of a sudden it's full.
Yeah, he tried to overthrow that time. He really wanted to get that fastball spotted in the lower half and threw it in the ground because he really tried really hard to overthrow it too.
Payoff. Got him, strike 3. Jack Shaw, Peyton corners again. Strikeout number 5.
Yeah, again, that's the second time I've seen one of their hitters take that pitch on 2 strikes, man. What are we doing? I mean, that's a good pitch to hit, actually. You know, you got to at least swing it and fight it off and live to tell another day. Taking it is not a good at bat.
Outside and low to Payne, who struck out looking against Shaw in the 4th. 3 of Shaw's 5 strikeouts have been backwards. If you score the game, a looking strikeout is a backwards K. You know, you got to make sure, you know. Sometimes you say it's F8, people get confused.
Right.
You got to remind them it's a fly out to center.
Absolutely.
Although you scored the game correctly. I kind of like made up my own way. For fly out to right field, instead of F9, I write in my book FORF.
That's why you're the play-by-play guy and I'm the color.
God bless you, my friend. Campbell at short, throw in time. Payne thought he beat it out. Looked like he was halfway in between sliding and running through first, and I wonder if this actually slowed him up.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he ran all the way through it. Tough, tough, tough.
Jack Shaw and Walled Lake Central 4 outs away from an upset. He's had success against Connor Strong today. Got him to ground out weakly a couple of times back to the pitcher. When Strong grounded out in the 2nd back to Shaw, that left the bases loaded.
Yeah, that was a tough at bat. And a good job by Shaw.
Winner of this game gets Walled Lake Western for the district championship later on today. That game earlier was a great one. Walled Lake Western beat North Farmington 1-0.
Yeah, and I don't think there was a hit out of the infield, right, when they scored that run? Was it?
Yeah.
You remember?
I think maybe it was a sac fly or what? I can't remember.
A balk. That's right.
That's right. They called the balk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of all the times to win a game, North Farmington coaches weren't happy. Stevie Fountain is on deck. Singled, stole a bag, scored a run in the 5th. Future Spartan hoping for a chance to bat here in the 6th. Means Strong got on base. He will bat. Called ball 4. That's Shaw's 4th walk.
Wow. See, that's a strike in college. I'm just saying, but you know, it's not a strike here. But he's been consistent with it. But I would like to see that called a strike as a high strike. But I've said that before.
Is there a little magic from the Lakers leadoff hitter Stevie Fountain? Ooh, that ball rolled a long way down the first base line, but Strong stayed at first.
Yeah, and that's the other thing that kids miss too. Ball's in the dirt and you're at first base, it's an automatically go. As because if you see the flight in the ball, because he's got to do a lot of things to throw you out.
Big hack and fouled off the roof of the school.
But he vacated back to the bag right away, so there was no chance for him to even attempt to go to second base.
Short lead at first for Strong. Another good block. And a 2-1 count.
Yeah, so Shaw's thinking like I can't give him nothing really good to hit. So it's either going to be an inside fastball, in my opinion, or a slider away.
High and up.
He tried to tie him inside.
Cam LaFlame waits on deck. He's 0 for 3 and struck out a couple of times. But of course, if Fountain gets on, you're putting the potential leading, winning run on base.
You are, but I'm giving him nothing good to hit here. I'm getting him something that he's got to, hopefully I can get him to chase it. And if I'm Steve, I'm looking for something dead red, and that's it. I'm spitting on anything else.
Ball 4. Back-to-back walks. 2 on, 2 out for LaFlame.
And that's not a bad walk right there. Like I said, it's you get the lefty coming up. You know, he hasn't had any good swings off of you right now. So I'll take my chances.
Biggest at-bat of the game right here. Home team, the favorite, down by a run, 2 on and 2 out, as Jack Shaw tries to hit the escape hatch again. West Bloomfield has left multiple runners on base in 2 different innings in this game. They've left at least 1 on base in each of the last 4 innings. Does Jack Shaw, yet again, have the ability to leave Lakers on base? He's already stranded 7 on in this game.
Yeah, he's been a magician here.
Ripped up the middle. That's a base hit into center. Straw running around third. Throw cut off. This ball game tied.
What a great at bat right there by that young man. All day he's been dominated, and he was stepped on that fastball right there. That was low in the zone too. That was a good at bat.
LaFlame flew out to deep right center in the first. This time he's rewarded, and Jack Shaw is out of the game. Even if you're watching and rooting for West Bloomfield, you gotta clap for Jack Shaw, and he's getting a nice hand here. That lefty battled his you-know-what off for Walled Lake Central, but he just kind of ran out of gas in this 6th.
Yes, he did, and that was a good pitch, though, Evan. I'm going to tell you right now, that still was a good pitch in my book. You know, he just was out over the plate a little bit too much than he wanted, and, you know, Cam put a really good swing on that after being dominated all day. So what a turn of events.
And now they take Chestnut, who was playing first, and put him on the mound. You don't have to fix your phone or your laptop or your TV. He's that big. He's 6'8", 210. So when you're coming to the plate facing a guy this big, what challenges does he present?
Well, his fastball, whether it's in the 80s or whatever it is going to add a little bit more, 4 to 5 more miles an hour on it, just because he's going to be at the plate already. So it's going to be faster than what it seems. So what you're looking for is to see something right down in the zone right there, because it's going to come right up to your waist, and you can just put a good swing on it. So you're looking fastball right away, get ahead. I mean, not get ahead, but to really jump on the fastball.
He's got to change out his cleats here, it looks like. What's going on?
I think he had on turfs, and now he wants to put on his cleats.
There we go. They're going to take Shaw, by the way, and put him at first. So Chestnut, he's big and he's kind of got that long hair. Not quite this, but kind of like old school Jacob deGrom. Remember when he had the real long hair, the real floppy hair for the Mets when he first came up?
Good call. Yes, he is.
When I think of long-haired pitchers, I think of old school deGrom. I think of Tyler Glasnow.
Mm-hmm. And what was the big lefty? 6'10".
Johnson? Randy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I should know that.
Oh, you're good. I mean, off the top of my head, probably the two most intimidating pitchers of all time, Randy Johnson and Nolan Ryan.
Ooh, yeah.
Because those guys threw triple digits. They didn't quite know where it was going.
Yeah. But in his time, too, Big Doc Gooden, man, coming at you with all that body and all the motion and just going crazy, you know, where it was coming out of.
Bob Gibson, too.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many stories about guys would walk up to the plate against Bob Gibson with a table leg. They're like, that doesn't matter. I ain't hitting this. I can bring up a toothpick. It doesn't matter. I'm striking out.
Yes. Remember that bat in the All-Star game against Crook? He went up there with his head on backwards.
Yep. I'm not hitting this. So Chestnut will come in this sixth inning is far from over because Fountain's at third. LaFlame just tied it up. He's at first. Drove in Strong with the 2-out RBI single. And let's give some love to Connor Strong, too, because there was 2 out, nobody on. He was down in the count 0-2, but he worked a walk. Fountain worked another walk, and then LaFlame that big single to tie it up.
Yeah, what a great at-bat. Like I said, it just was amazing against a good pitcher who dominated for the most part the entire game.
Runners on base are Shaw's responsibility, so his line is not yet done. He battled and nearly got this thing to the 7th, but now we are tied. West Bloomfield has never led in this game. They were once down 3-0. Just safe at first. Man, that was close.
That was way too close. That gives you gray hairs as a coach, boy, let me tell you. You shouldn't even been close.
Runner taken off, and they won't even risk a throw. LaFlame's to second. Table set for Logan Scheidt. Double and a run scored in the 3rd. They say he's the future of West Bloomfield baseball. Future's right now.
And the hard part is, do you walk them to get to the next hitter until you can have a force everywhere?
2-0.
So it could be the intentional walk here, because I'll definitely wouldn't give him nothing to hit, especially if I go 2-0, 3-1 type count.
Slade Moore, the scheduled batter on deck. In the air to center. This ball is carrying back. Nelson's to the wall with room.
What a great read on that ball, man.
The wind is pushing everything in, and it may have pushed this thing back in. Scheidt was home run hunting. It fell just short, and we stayed tied going to the 7th.
In today's ever-changing mortgage lending world, the importance of true professionals has never been greater. At Success Mortgage Partners, we want you to have the experience of a lifetime. Founded and owned by Catholic League alumni, our family-centered business keeps your interest at heart as we help you navigate this turbulent market with ease. If you or a family member has a mortgage need, please call me, Owen Lee, at 734-822-9792.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start?
Here, in the classroom.
On the diamond.
In the pool. On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah!
Be great.
Participate.
We got a heck of a ball game brewing here at West Bloomfield High School. Brody Piker out of the bullpen, pitched a scoreless sixth, and now he's on in the seventh in a scenario that West Bloomfield hasn't had since the first inning. The game is tied again. And it could be a West Bloomfield lead if not for this guy at the plate. Luke Nelson made a great catch in center field to end the bottom of the sixth.
Yes, he did. He went back hard and fast and strong and made it look routine.
At the plate today, he's 1 for 3 with a run driven in and a single. Man, Piker snapped off a couple of good ones so far today.
He sure did. And what he's doing, too, is he's pitching around in the corners of the plate, too. I haven't seen him throw anything down the middle thus far.
Felt like he overthrew that one.
Yeah. He's having good command of the plate right now.
Little looper. It lands fair down the line. Nelson speeding to second. Walled Lake Central is alive. And West Bloomfield can't believe that thing was ruled fair.
It's just mechanics, man. You gotta be vocal, and you gotta make sure that you can make the call for everybody, especially in a good game. So he did something different with his hands. I don't know, but he never said fair. So I don't know what was going on with that. It was close, but it looked fair from this angle.
And give credit to Nelson, too. You know, Piker, a couple pitches before, had snapped off that breaking ball, and he tried to go back to it and fights it off. Great two-strike swing.
It was, and he left a little bit more on the plate than he wanted to. And that's when you got to make sure as a young pitcher that you're not around the strike zone at that particular time.
So now Piker, who's got the genes, his brother pitches at State. Brody's going to go play college baseball somewhere.
Yes,
really good multi-sport athlete here at West Bloomfield. Has got to find a way to get out of this inning. And now you wonder, Jay, I know 2, 3, 4 in the lineup coming up, but does Walled Lake Central try to play small ball here to push across maybe that winning run?
Absolutely. The other, especially with your two-hitter, if this is your 3 and 4, you roll the dice. But absolutely, I'm trying to play small ball. Because your two-hitter's supposed to be your guy that can bunt.
Back pick to second. And they may have got lucky there. If that ball didn't collide into Nelson, that may roll into center.
It might have. Or if he would have got to the bag faster.
Yeah, that definitely hit Nelson sliding back. That's a break. Strong at third base is pinched in now.
He's taking a beating.
Yeah, he is.
That hurt right there. It might have been off the
yeah,
elbow.
unfortunately, I think that may have hit him somewhere.
Yeah, hit him on the elbow if I'm not mistaken.
Poor Nelson. Yeah, I think that may have got him, right on your elbow. What do they call it? The funny bone. Yeah, unfortunately.
Ouch.
What an effort from Walled Lake Central, a team that came in under 500. Team that was playing some better ball leading into this, but still, West Bloomfield with the 27-10 record, a confident team with multiple future Big Ten baseball players, and those guys in those Milwaukee Brewers-esque uniforms, they've battled today, man. You got to give them credit.
Yes, they have. And scrappy, they did they're doing and continue to do every single thing that they can to put their team in a position to win. And that's what you want from a good scrappy team, right? We're the unexpected. We ain't got nothing to lose, right? And so those are the teams that's scary to play.
Campbell has shown bunt a couple of times in this at-bat. Nelson stays in the game. Luke's off first. Off second.
And Nelson don't need to get that big of a lead because he's fast already. As long as he gets the bunt down.
Back pick again. This time, he's safe. The ball was dropped. The ball was dropped. And West Bloomfield may contest this.
tell you what, though, something must have happened because Campbell's shaking his head at the umpire. I'm wondering if he said he didn't pull the bat back.
It looked like at second base, Scheidt never fully had that ball. So West Bloomfield's going to say he tagged him out and then lost it on the transfer. But based on the first replay we saw, he never had that ball. Yeah, Scheidt's still juggling that thing out there.
Got it. Yep.
That's a massive break for Walled Lake Central.
It sure is, man, because he was out. And what is Nelson doing, man?
I
I'm telling you, he's already fast. What are you doing?
Does Campbell square again? He does, and he missed it. Walled Lake Central has played well in this game, but they have had issues getting bunts down. They've popped out twice trying to get a bunt down.
I tell you what, I'm going to put Logan on the recruit list for colleges, man.
This bunt is darn good. Piker had to field it barehanded. Nelson gets to third, 90 feet away from the run that could extend the season for Walled Lake Central.
Yeah, and what a good job, too. He deadened it really, really well. So, to me, that tells him he's a good bunter. But, you know, the first couple times it didn't look so much, but that was a good bunted ball right there.
Tyler Malzewski can turn around his day. He is 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. And West Bloomfield has brought the infield in with Nelson 90 feet away at third. Rip to left. Sliding attempt, Payne caught it. Runner tagging from third. Walled Lake Central leads again.
Wow, great piece of hitting. Choked up and went there. Choked up, got the job done. That was awesome piece of hitting right there.
They did rule that Payne caught this ball, but as soon as he went to that slide, it would have taken a heroic effort.
Yeah, it would have.
West Bloomfield just tried the old throwback to third just in case he left early. Have you ever seen that move work?
every once in a while, though, but not a lot.
Yeah, everybody.
So I've been coaching for a long time.
Everybody keeps trying it.
That's it.
Jack Shaw to the plate. A heroic effort on the mound for Shaw. His final line, by the way, 5 2/3, struck out 5. He ends up getting charged with the 3 earned runs, but kept his team in the game, and now they have scored the run here in the top of the 7th. That means they're 3 outs away. Coming into this day, a lot of people thought it would be West Bloomfield against Walled Lake Western for the district championship, but Walled Lake Central came to play.
Yes, they did.
And now if they can get 3 outs, they're playing their rival in about 30, 40 minutes in an unexpected matchup.
Yeah, they just never really took control of this game. And to Walled Lake Central's credit is they wouldn't let them.
Yeah.
And that's just it. That's baseball.
Now West Bloomfield will have 4, 5, 6 coming up. Still far from the finish line. And Piker still got to get out of this 7th inning. It's 2-2 on Jack Shaw.
Yeah, really, they have to really bear down.
Rolled over to first. Fountain makes the play himself. Damage done, Walled Lake Central. Bloop double off the foul line, down that left field line to start the inning for Nelson. Sack bunt to get him to third, and Malzewski drives him in. Walled Lake Central 3 outs away from an upset at West Bloomfield.
The store is set up. He's got the order, and he's off. It's a full court press. These brands are knocking it out of the park. This, my friends, is the speed we've come to expect from this team. Just look at the precision of that move. And it's out of here.
Everybody wanna go and talk. At the same time, gotta walk it. Better yet, run, go, hit a lick, divvy up with my homies, and we do it all again.
Here we go. When Dylan Chestnut woke up this morning, he was dreaming for an opportunity like this on the road against a favored West Bloomfield team. Walled Lake Central just scored a run, top of the 7th, to take a 4-3 lead. And they are 3 outs away if that big 6'8" righty can get them from playing their rival, Walled Lake Western, for a district championship in a little over a half hour. But he's got to navigate West Bloomfield's meat of the lineup, the cleanup hitter Slade Moore, to kick it off. What's Chestnut thinking about right now?
Well, he's got to get ahead right now. He's got to really pitch down in the zone and win strike one, right? You got to get ahead. The last thing you can do is walk guys and get traffic on the bases for them.
Slade Moore's had a couple of good at-bats today. RBI single in the 3rd, walk in the 5th. The excellent lefty starter for West Bloomfield went 5 innings of 2-run ball and struck out 8.
Yeah, he wants to just take until he gets a strike here and make sure this kid throws him a strike. That's the bottom line.
And right now that heart rate for Dylan Chestnut, who's in relief, has got to be racing. Ball 4. 4-pitch walk to start bottom 7, and the tying run is on for West Bloomfield.
And that's exactly what you didn't want, right? Your team worked hard to battle to get you a run. You got to make those guys hit their way on the base. You can't give any free bases right here, right now.
It's a quick stride for Coach Troyer out to the mound. He's got to look up at his 6'8" relieving pitcher here.
That's right. It's the funniest thing ever. When I just have to go to the mound and the guy was so tall. I have some choice words for him first.
Shaking your fist up at the guy,
right?
you know?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. I mean, how many coaches over the years, like in hoops, had to do that to Shaq? You
Oh,
know, look
right?
up at him
I
and
know.
please don't hurt me.
That's it. That's
Please don't hurt me.
And they're looking right down at you like this.
Lewis Donaldson coming to the plate. This is not a small man for West Bloomfield.
No, it is not.
Their season is on the line. Moore at first, nobody out. Do they have the guts to send him?
Oh, I'm sure he will because he's slow to the plate. And I don't think he shows oh, there it is.
Went to the breaking ball, and that's 5 straight balls to start the inning for Chestnut.
Yeah, that's the first time we've seen the slide step because when they went ahead or tied the game up, he had a big leg kick and he stole it easy.
Ball 6 to start bottom 7.
But I definitely don't think he's comfortable in the slide step as well. He needs to gather himself and hit his balance point. So it may be something that he's not comfortable pitching out of at all so far because he's missed wildly.
It's always curious when a guy's trying to throw a strike and they throw breaking ball instead of fastball.
Yeah, and I don't know that one either because he hadn't established his fastball yet. So I understand it from Shaw, but not from him.
8 straight out of the zone to start bottom 7, and all of a sudden, Donaldson going to first is that potential winning run. Brody Piker coming up. They'll run for Donaldson at first, who's all sorts of pumped up. They'll put the speedy Nathan Herbert at first.
Yeah, here's an opportunity right now for them to get the bunt down here too. So.
West Bloomfield down to their last 3 outs. Has put the first 2 on via walk in the bottom of the 7th. Ball 9 from Chestnut. At what point do you have to think about taking him out?
Yeah, they don't look like they have anybody else in the pen unless they warmed him up. All right, here we go. They're taking him out now.
Shaw battled, got through 5 2/3. He's at first right now, and you feel for a guy like Chestnut here.
Yeah, you do.
He's the loneliest man on the field right now.
Right now, yes he is. Yes he is. But he's got to swallow it right now and go out there and play defense for his team, right?
Yeah.
That's that misnomer where, all right, I'm taking that, what I did on the mound, out to defense. It's the same way when I'm hitting, I take that out to the defense side, and you mess up. Now you got to get refocused and do your job at your position.
So here's the move. So I believe that's Malzewski. They moved from second base to the mound. He's wearing number 17, and full disclosure, there's no 17 on the Walled Lake Central roster we were given. But I believe that is Malzewski that they have moved from second base to the mound. This is the third different pitcher for Walled Lake Central, and now relievers will tell you they hate this when they have to come into an at-bat when it's already 1-0 or 2-0. That is Malzewski, by the way.
Okay, got it.
All that work you do before the season, during the season, and this happens in every sport. It's funny how it always comes down to one or two moments, and this is the moment where Walled Lake Central and West Bloomfield seasons are hanging in the balance. 9 straight pitches out of the zone in this bottom of the 7th have forced Chestnut out of the game, put Moore at second. Donaldson walked. They got a pinch runner for him at first. And Malzewski has come into the game. Remember, he's the guy who gave Walled Lake Central the lead with the sac fly RBI in the top of the 7th, and now he's got to somehow save the game here, bottom 7.
Yeah, and it's a tale of two ball games, actually. You know, now West Bloomfield had a lot of traffic early. Now Walled Lake Central has a lot of traffic and allowing a lot of traffic on the bases. So it makes it very, very difficult and gives them more of an opportunity to steal this momentum right here.
And Chestnut has moved to third after struggling on the mound. They've moved Detta from third to second. Does Piker square here? He does. Ball 2. 10 straight balls to start the inning.
Yeah, curveball's actually a lot easier to bunt than a fastball. People don't realize that. It comes right down into your bat.
Shaw's way in from first. That one was right down Broadway.
Yeah, he's got to get that ball down to third. And no ifs, ands, or buts. That's their only spot location. You're bunting this ball down the third baseline. First baseman's giving himself up right now and charging hard.
2-2. I mean, Brody at that plate, yeah, he squared around, but there hasn't been an effort really to drop it down.
It has not, and that's what really give coaches nightmares right there for guys that don't sell out and get the bunt down for their team.
2-2. Brady Scheidt is waiting on deck. Walked a couple of times and struck out. 2 on, nobody out. West Bloomfield down by a run. Season on the line. Bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, it's a tough spot right here for the pitcher.
Malzewski challenged him with high heat, and Piker spoiled it.
Yes, he did. You know, this is where you got to know your own personnel. So we don't know Malzewski very much, but if he's confident throwing that slider right now, I'm throwing that slider.
Just shook off a couple of times. Biggest pitch of the game right here.
He's going up in the zone, looks like.
And he got him to swing and miss for strike 3. Challenged him with high heat, and Piker couldn't catch it.
That's why you got to get the bunt down. And you got to make an attempt at it for your team. It's not about you. It's about your team in this situation. And it just drives me nuts. When guys just don't sell out and get the bunt down.
And now Scheit comes to the plate. Runner's taken off. They challenge. It works. A base hit probably wins the game now.
They both had good jumps, but that's what you have to do as a pitcher. Unfortunately, you got a lot to do as a pitcher. You got to throw strikes. You got to throw in and out. You got to control the running game, and that's the lost art. You focus on one thing, which he was just trying to throw a strike, and the base runners picked something up real fast because they had a big jump.
Infield in for Walled Lake Central with their season hanging in the balance. Moore, the runner at third with good speed. If one gets away, he probably scores and ties it. Herbert, the runner at second. He's got great speed too, and they'll just elect to walk Scheit here and bring up Jalen Payne, who the coaching staff loves. They said, if our whole team could be like Jalen, we'd be a bunch of happy coaches. If he gives them a hit here, they'll really love him.
I really love him.
Single, strikeout, ground out for Jalen Payne in this game. He's bound for Wilberforce next year. Trying to make some memories at West Bloomfield while he can.
Yeah, in this situation here, you're looking for something that you can just drive to the outfield. That's it.
Ground ball underneath Shaw's glove. Herbert's running around third. The throw is late. West Bloomfield wins. West Bloomfield down 3-0 early in the game. Down 4-3 and down to their last 3 outs in the bottom of the 7th. Has lived to play one more game.
That's fun, partner. It's a fun game to watch. Walk-offs are always fun, but Walled Lake Central cannot hang their head. I mean, they played a really, really tough game. But, you know, you talk to young defenders and young players, like in that situation there, you got to put your whole entire body in front of that ball. It was hit hard, sharp. It was a tough play. You got to bury it. You cannot come up trying to make the play. You got to bury that baseball and keep it in front of you.
And credit to Payne, putting the ball in play. And
absolutely.
Heck, credit to West Bloomfield, right? I mean, a couple of batters before, they couldn't get a bunt down, and they're probably thinking, oh, you're kidding me. We can't get a bunt down. But it says a lot about that group, that coaching staff, really resilient.
Absolutely.
And they've got Walled Lake Western in about 30 minutes.
Yes, sir, partner.
What a win for West Bloomfield. Walled Lake Western and West Bloomfield coming up later today. We'll hit one final break and wrap up this one more time right after this.
Today's ever-changing mortgage lending world, the importance of true professionals has never been greater. At Success Mortgage Partners, we want you to have the experience of a lifetime. Founded and owned by Catholic League alumni, our family-centered business keeps your interest at heart as we help you navigate this turbulent market with ease. If you or a family member has a mortgage need, please call me, Owen Lee, at 734-822-9792.
The store is set up. He's got the order, and he's off. It's a full court press. These brands are knocking it out of the park. This, my friends, is the speed we've come to expect from this team. Just look at the precision of that move. And it's out of here.
That was a heck of a baseball game. West Bloomfield down to Walled Lake Central 3-0 early, down 4-3, and down to their last 3 outs in the bottom of the 7th, but they get it done. Jalen Payne hits it hard to first. It eats up Shaw, rolls under his glove, and Herbert, the pinch runner, racing around third to score. 5-4 West Bloomfield wins. Heck of a ball game. You know, this game was defined really early on by the 2 starting pitchers, the lefties. Jack Shaw goes 5 2/3 for Walled Lake Central. Slade Moore goes 5 strong for West Bloomfield. He ends up striking out 8 while giving up 3 runs and a couple earned. Walled Lake Central scored 3 times in the second on 3 infield singles and 3 walks, but Moore was able to battle his way through it. West Bloomfield got a run back in the 3rd, run in the 5th, run in the 6th to tie it. Jack Shaw left a lot of guys on base in the game, but West Bloomfield did just enough. Kept on rallying back. Walled Lake Central in the 7th. Luke Nelson gets that bloop double to start the 7th. They eventually bunt him over to 3rd, and then Malzewski with this sinking liner that was caught by Payne, but turns into a sacrifice fly to give him the lead. And then West Bloomfield, that may have been the play, underrated. Double steal to get a couple of guys to 2nd and 3rd, walk the bases loaded, and then that ground ball for Payne that got into right and won the game for West Bloomfield. They're going to turn right around and play Walled Lake Western for a district championship. Western's been waiting in the wings since they beat North Farmington 1-0 earlier today. We'll be back in a little bit. For Jay and the whole crew, Evan saying thanks for watching, but don't go anywhere. We got West Bloomfield and Walled Lake Western for a district crown coming up in just a few.